Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today I just wanted to run through a few of my UK legal slip joints. By far this is not all of them. This is just a small handful, some of the ones that you may not have seen before, some that you might be familiar with, some that are a little bit different that you don't tend to see people necessarily raving too much about, but certainly worth looking at and considering if you are looking for a very helpful little pocket knife to carry with you. So we'll start from this end. This was not a UK legal slip joint. This is the Gerber jukebox, which I picked up probably about a month or two ago, and I modified the lock on there. So I stripped the knife down and bent the lock back so it now will not lock. I cannot, no matter what, engage that lock. It slips straight back off. And because of the way I've done it, the ball detent still works, that it just clasps and keeps that shut. So if you are a little bit handy and you like the look of these knives, it can be done with some other knives, but this is particularly good to do it with because of the ball detent it has in there to actually hold the blade shut. A lot of the time if you modify a liner lock knife, it just becomes useless. The blade will just open up willy-nilly, but with this it becomes a great little friction folder with that little bit on the thumb there at the back, and with it being less than 3 inches and now not locking, it is a completely viable UK legal slip joint. Obviously I don't want to go into all the rigmarole of the law and everything, but you have to bear in mind that no matter what I do say here, these are not UK legal, as in you are welcome to carry them anywhere. You need to look up on the laws yourself and just make sure that you're familiar with what the laws are wherever you are. This is a little favourite as well, the little book. Now this was, I'm going to forget the name of this one now. Bear with me, I will come back to this. It's the book Rival, that's it, the Rival 2 I believe it is. But as just a little, looks like a little back lock on it, but it's not. They do a backlock version, but this one is just a slip joint. I got this one from Henny Haynes for around £20. Great little option. With a bit of a pinch, you can one hand open it for ease, but I've carried that at work a few times and out and about, and you can see a little bit of wear and use on the blade there where it's been scuffed about. I do like to get a bit of use out of my knives. They all come in handy for work and otherwise, but that is a great little option for a nice price point knife. That's the Black Fox Bean Gen 2. This was one of my first little UK legal, sort of more interesting items. A lot of people ask about how I've got the lanyard on the back. I don't know if you'll see that very well on the video, but there is a very small piece of string holding the lanyard on. It's not the prettiest thing, but it does the job, and it gives me a little bit more purchase with it being such a small knife. Again, this is a small ball detent style with the lock on the side there, or not lock, but the recess that holds it. These are around £30, somewhere around there. Obviously it may vary in whichever country you're in, but great little option as a UK legal. And it's so tiny as well. They do come with a little pocket clip on there. I wasn't too keen on that, so I've took that off and just added the lanyard on there. This is the Effing Grow. Now this one was sent to me by a gentleman in the United States. There's a EDC cooperative page that I'm a part of on Facebook, and them guys were posting about these, and there's a few of them from America saying about them, and they're only about £12 or $12 I think it is on the American Amazon, and it's just got a little bit of tension on it, so there's no movement in that blade. It just stops it from coming out, but it's a great little friction folder, and again less than 3 inches, and it's not locking. So I speaking to one of the guys, he was kind enough to actually buy it for me and send it over to me. There was obviously import charges and all the rest of it, but I think in the end it cost me around £25 for that knife, which, for, as you may well know, for a knife of that quality, that's still very much worth that. A lot of you might be familiar with this one. This is the Spyderco KPK. I've added a little lanyard bead on there. I can't remember who makes those. I will put a link to that in the description. Really friendly guy. He's done a couple of these before and sent me out a couple of things different to try. But they're glow in the dark. You probably won't see it very well on here, but give a little bit of light to it, and it does shine up very nicely. A lot of his beads are glow in the dark, and they are real nice items. But again, lovely little slip joint. This is the only Spyderco I've ever owned, which is probably a bad representation of the brand. It feels a little cheap and a little thin and flimsy to me. I appreciate that that doesn't stand for all Spydercos. It is just this one. This is one of the more expensive ones on the table. This one, I think they're around 70 quid. I bought it secondhand, so I didn't pay that, but still, for that price, I wouldn't have paid full price for this knife. I don't feel that it's worth that when there are such other great options. You could get a couple of these other knives, which are better than that. Each one, you can get a couple of them for that price. Another one that I very much love, a bit of a traditional style slip joint, is the Boker Canoe. Got two little blades on there. Very non-threatening style knife. Something where even in England, you could pull that out and use that without someone going, "Oh my God, you've got a knife," and being a bit crazy about it. You could use that within reason. A couple of these, like the rival, does look a little more tactical and a little more scary to some. Obviously, all depends on your surroundings, but I'd probably advise not using them around people you don't know, because obviously people can have bad reactions to seeing knives. Here we have the Black Fox Scal, which is obviously another one by the same brand there. Now this is just a little friction folder. It's a tiny little thing. It is a little lost in my hand. I keep meaning to get a little lanyard on the back there. But it comes with a little sheath to actually make it slip into a little neck holder. So essentially it's like a neck knife, but you still have to open it up. So it's not fixed blade or anything. So making it UK legal. Great little blade. Again, it's more like a little box cutter. It's not going to get you through any amazing tasks. It's not going to see you out in the wilderness surviving for weeks, but for a little tiny carry around knife, it's got a little bottle opener on the back there. It's a great little option for what it is. I'd highly recommend checking this one out. Again, same as that one. I think this is around 30 to 35 pound. Great little option. I don't think I mentioned on the book Canoe. I think that's around 30 pound as well. My personal Grail knife it was for quite a long time. This one, this cost me, I think it was £115 I picked this up for, but I wouldn't usually spend that much on a knife, but this had something special about it, and it has been an absolute joy to have, joy to carry. The quality you feel from actually carrying it, it's unrivaled. It has something about it that's so much better than any of these others on the table. You can feel the money that's gone into it. There is a justification for this being the price that it is when you actually feel it in hand. This has done a lot of work. The blade doesn't look too bad at all, considering the stuff I have cut with it, and the boxes, as well as sort of scrapings on trees and all sorts. It's seen a fair bit of hammer already. I've had this for almost a year. But it just keeps outperforming itself. Little bit of leather lanyard on there just for a bit of style, the way I like the look of it. Goes well with my Carter. And then there's a little bead there which is from, now is that Brass Works, or is it just there's something Works, I can't think of the name of it now. But again, that was on Henny Haynes. That bead is around £15, but it's a little Damascus bead. Beautiful little bit. I don't know if that will show up very well in this light, but it's on there. But an amazing option if you're planning on spending a little bit more money. That is hands down the best UK legal slip joint I can advise you go for. Then we have the Boker, was it Wasabi? I couldn't have that wrong. Chocobolo scales on this one. It feels a lot lighter than it looks. It's more of a novelty knife, I think, this. Again, it is a UK legal, great little knife. It looks like a dinner knife. It has a little bit of elegance to it, a little bit of style. You can get it in a few different colour options. You can get it in black and all the rest, but I think it's around £50. Having felt it and after actually using it, I don't think I would spend that money on it. This was a gift, but I don't feel that the justification of that price is in this. It is a novelty knife with its little, it's not spring loaded or anything, it's just a ball detent again that just causes a little pressure on it and allows it to spring out. It's got its fidget factor to it, but obviously you don't want to be fidgeting in public where people are going to get scared of it, as with the rest. And then last but not least, we have the Dapper Design little slip joint that I keep on my keychain as like a little box cutter, which I have done a separate little video for that. I've not posted that yet, but that you may see that coming up soon. But that's a great little option for a little sort of a carrier that you could just hook it on your pocket or hook it on your belt loop and then carry your keys off the side of it. It's got quite a strong little sort of recession in there. Takes a little bit of effort to get that out, but that's the titanium version. I think that retails for about £50. The aluminium version that they've brought out is in black, and I think they're selling that for around £25. It is expensive for what it is, but it is a small maker that are making a great quality little product. There is justification in the price when you consider the quality of the build, but it's worth a look at if you want yourself a nice little sort of a belt loop holder or a little knife to go on your keychain. I know that Spyderco do the little bug and all the rest, and a lot of people like those, but this is a great little carry option, certainly worth a consideration. But there you go, guys. There is a lot more of a vast collection that I have, which you may be seeing more on the channel before too long. But I hope you've enjoyed get my words right now. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm surprised I've managed to do all this in one take. And I hope you come back soon. There'll be more content following. Thanks, guys. Cheers.